Welcome back to I Train Mind, Body, Soul. I'm out here on one of my crusades. I saw on Facebook where people were complaining about the homeless being in a certain area, and I'm out here on an adventure to try to find them, to give them experience, strength, and hope. These people on Facebook wanted to call the police, get them trespassed, get them arrested. I can understand their thinking, but also have an empathy, like how can we help these people? So I'm out here wandering the woods, trying to find them, trying to see how I can help better their lives, because obviously they need some type of help, and I'm out here trying to help like I said I was going to do. Please hold, I'm gonna keep looking. I looked, can't find them, but I'm still gonna hang out here where there's mosquitoes and it's hot and it's humid. This is Florida, so it's muggy, but I'm gonna still be out here. Go ahead and talk about a couple things, man. How Pier 1 is a behavior modification program that helped save my life when I got out of Colorado prison 13 years ago, 12 years ago, give or take. How did it help me, man? First, it helped me get out of prison, because I wasn't supposed to get out of prison because I was a flight risk, which that was a blessing. That was one of the 1,000 stories with 1,000 explanations that I got in 1 second. But truth of the matter is, man, me being transferred to Denver, Colorado area helped me get out and become a different person. Because before I went to Colorado, I was locked up in Florida, and I did have a lawyer that helped me get off charges that should have gave me a life sentence, which I was extradited to Colorado. But truth of the matter is, if I would have went to Florida prison, the mask that I wore, the reputation I had, the savage people knew of me, know of me, heard what I've done, know what I've done, have seen what I've done, I would have had to have kept that image on in Florida prison, straight up. But to be truth and honestly, man, I used to rob people like you know, robbers cover themselves. I was a jack boy, so literally, like you saw my face, I did it, and I was always like, what you gonna do about it? Not happy about that, because that's not who I am today, and I'm not trying to bring up a lot of stuff, nor am I trying to bring up the past to the people who I did, and I apologize for doing what I was doing. I didn't know no better. I didn't think better. But with me saying that, when I went to, Pier 1, being paroled right there was a blessing in itself, because I wasn't supposed to be paroled. I was a fugitive from the law, and I was supposed to do my whole time. They even told me that in court. But God's grace, that's one of those 1,000 stories with 1,000 explanations. When I got to Pier 1, I remember being, the very first class was OTs, orientation. And they told us, look around, because 95% of y'all ain't gonna make it. And I looked around like, I want to be one of those. I want to be one of those. But truth of the matter, man, a lot of those people that I was in class with are either in jail, in prison. We talking about life sentence, 5 years, gone back, did this, did that. You know what I mean? But that's just the lifestyle, man. I literally had a chance to change my life, and I'm fortunate to have changed my life. I remember coming from Colorado prison. Larry, one of the best counselors there, literally called me Dr. Phil, because I came from Colorado prison with all this knowledge, being in the TC program, wanting to change my life. And, I definitely appreciate everything he did. But me being Dr. Phil, he told me that, whoa, buddy. But, yeah, I ended up learning a lot from this guy. But with me saying what I'm saying, so remember me saying a lot of people didn't graduate. I remember talking to some people who were in the program with me, and every time I talked about the program, they get upset with me. Why are you getting upset? It ain't my fault you ain't graduate. But I did, and that's an accomplishment with me, because 95% of people did not, got sent back to jail and did whatever they did. So with me getting released, and when I got off parole, I came back to Tampa. Now, this is where actions speak louder than words. When I got back to Tampa, to Florida, man, I literally, is this right or wrong? I know this is illegal, for sure. But truth of the matter is, my actions, me being a career and habitual criminal, I was pulled over for months and months and months and months, week after week after week. And, it happened year after year as well, you know what I mean? All these bogus, they pull my name up and they see my record, I get, woo! Especially with the type of whips that I was, people have been with me. And they would see how I would talk to the cops, but truth of the matter is, I'd always tell them, look at my eyes. They're not red or they're not glossy. Smell my breath. no drinking. So why exactly do you want to search my vehicle? Because my past says I was a drug dealer. So imagine, and I'm not talking about this happened once, twice. We're talking about like hands full of times I get pulled over. Because you pulled up my record, and yeah, I got a bad record. But it doesn't mean I'm still doing the same thing. Yet the cops thought when I got back that I was gonna do the exact same thing. But they're not the only ones. You know how many people hit me up asking me what I was holding, what I was doing? Do I want to sell for them, or what am I, just what I was doing? And I had to make boundaries. And my boundaries was, if that's what you're calling me for, don't call me again. Because I didn't want to go back to that lifestyle. And that's when I started Above the Rest. Literally, did something different. I didn't know how to pressure wash. I didn't know how to tree trim. I didn't know how to do a lot of this stuff. But I started little by little. But I took the steps forward in order to get it. Now, with me saying Above the Rust, man, I had 191 5-star reviews. To me, that's huge. That means I had a lot of repeat customers. That means I had a lot of things to do. So when I say I retired so I can do something full-time to help the world, I mean it. I want to help the world, and I will help the world. I went through what I went through for a reason, so other people don't have to make the same mistakes I did. I always wondered when I was a kid when they said, you know, if I can do it, you can do it. Now, mind you, you're going to hear story after story. I'm getting this podcast going, and you're going to hear story after story after story of how I was a savage, how I used to do this, how I used to do that. And I was just known for doing certain things. Like I said, I used to be a jack boy. You talked all that, and I'm not, talked all that crap back in the day, and I would literally let you know I did it, what you going to do about it. But back in the day, I was always, you know, pew pew. That's nothing to be proud of, because I was considered a psychopath because I had no empathy. But today I have, it's funny, what I lacked back then, I lack now. Because when I see sadness, you know, I cry a lot. I literally am empathetic towards the humans, you know, like all the stuff that's happening in the world that's sad. I just want to make a difference. And I'm here for all you guys. So you want to know something? A lot of people wanted to bring up my past. I got this the other day in the mail. This is asking me if I wanted to buy some more real estate. So when I got out of prison, man, I ended up getting my credit score up. I got my money up. I'm working hard, and I tried real estate, trying to be a real estate investor. And they asked did I want to buy it. But truth of the matter is, no one wanted to invest in an investor who had a career in habitual criminal. Yet, this company, they saw that I had good credit. They saw the amount of money I had in my checking account, yet they didn't want to help me out. So I had to write an autobiography to them. I said, hey, will you give me a chance? And I wrote an autobiography. My autobiography was like, if you're going to look at then, look at today. Because not only then was I a habitual career criminal, yes, I have all these charges, and yes, I've beaten a lot of charges, but truth of the matter, let's look at today too, though. If you're gonna bring up the past, let's bring up today. And I told them about my certificates, all the education I got, all the milestones, everything that I did. And I was accepted to buy and sell this same exact house, which was a blessing. You know, it's something I tried. Not a lot of people. How many career habitual criminals, how many drug addicts, how many people in the world want to buy and sell real estate? If I did it, you can too. It's just not everybody can jump up and be a CEO. First, you got to get up in the morning. You got to show up on time. Be the best at whatever the heck you got to be, no matter where you're at. And then you will succeed. Ain't nobody going to say you're going to be CEO and you ain't got up and been on time. You ain't showed up for work. Like, man, you got to prove that you're worth something to whatever business you're at or the business that you're going to start yourself. If I can do it, you can do it. Don't think nothing different. I'm here to motivate you and help you out. Stay blessed.